Hello everyone, this is Noemi Banchi from Valley Heights near Sydney, in New South Wales, Australia. And today we are going to talk about the seventh violet ray. And we are going to start, before starting, everything we are going to say here is based on a book. The book is the book is Seven Rays by Rubén Cedeño. And well, let's get started. Well, the seventh violet ray, what is that? Well, the seventh violet ray manifests in the seventh sphere of both the great central spiritual sun and the causal body. So when we talk about rays, we need to remember that we are talking about aspects of the totality of life. In metaphysics, we call it rays, and they are organized. Everything in the universe is organized in the manifest universe, because on the other hand there is the chaos, but in the universe there is order. So because everything is organized, I will show you what we are in with this representation of the great central spiritual sun, which is the focus, the center of everything. In religions, it's called God, Allah, Ishvara, the manifestation, and it has many names. Well, we call it the totality of life, or the great central spiritual sun. And there are other names as well. Well, from that center, there are 7 spheres. And we went through all of them. So today is the last one. The 7th sphere, the 7th ray, the violet ray. Well, and what else? It's not only there, but it's also within us. In what we are seeing here, the representation of ourselves, as with 3 parts. The first one is the I am presence, or spirit. The middle one is the inner self, or soul, where it's also the causal body, where the 7th violet ray is, and the personality. The personality is composed of 4 things, 4 sheets, surrounding the inner self, the real being. One is the physical body, the appearance. The other one is vitality. The other one is the astral or a feeling world or sheet, and thoughts or mind. Well, and you see here the same representation, the 7 spheres, and the last one, the number 7, is the violet ray. So, in other words, all the virtues that we are going to see actually, this is the thing. It's not that the 7th ray has these virtues. The 7th violet ray is itself the virtues that we are going to see in more detail right now. Well, the first one, the seventh violet ray is the ray of ceremonial order. Means that when we know how to greeting, how to dress, how to eat properly, well, this is where we get the ceremonial order. So, for example, that is an example of greeting. As you see, there are many ways of greeting. I'm not going to talk about those ways because there are many. Kiss, hand, just bow, or joining the hands at the height of your chest. Well, even with this, with your eyes, you can say, you can greet someone. When you are walking and you look at someone and then you smile, that is a way of greeting as well. So there are many aspects of this ceremonial order, and we see in royalty where is expressed at the high level how to who walks first, who walks behind, who says the first word. So to give you an example, if two people meet, who is going to start the greeting? Well, first of all, the person who has more, the older person by age, the highest rank. Let's say if you are at work, well, if you meet your boss, for example, well, you need to wait until he or she gives you the hand or gives you a kiss or just say hello, just verbal with the voice. That's it. Different ways. And then you respond accordingly. Just to give you an example of ceremonial order. Then, the seventh violet ray is the ray of freedom. And freedom, what is freedom? Because we can talk, but first we will see that freedom, so let's say that here is actually the opposite. The opposite of freedom is when you want to do something, but because you have physical bounds, you cannot. One can be illness, but it's just a physical bound or bond. It's a physical bond. You can set free yourself from that physical bond. It could be something what in medicine is known as incurable. And I have a very, very good example for that. Many years ago in the United States of America, there was one person, Charles Fillmore, and he knew about the seventh ray. He studied. Well, he was born with a discrepancy of legs. So one leg was shorter than the other one by birth. So when he learned that with the violet ray you can free yourself, he applied that violet ray. And then, don't ask me why, his leg grew. Like your hair grows, your nails grows, his leg grew. And then he needed at that time a special shoe, orthopedic shoe, and then he didn't need it anymore. without surgery, without any implements that we know that in medicine nowadays is helping people. But he did that with the use of the violet ray. Another physical bond is age. Some people think, oh, because of my age, because I'm getting old, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. And those are physical bonds that you can set free yourself with the violet ray. Emotional bonds, and those ones are really strong ones, because emotional bonds is when you are in a toxic relationship and you don't let them go, and you stay in that cycle, in a vicious cycle, fighting each other and but still together. This is what happened with domestic violence. The person, let's say the victim, doesn't want to be free, because if they know how to set free themselves by using the violet fire, by saying, I don't accept this, I will take actions to act, instead of accepting the abuse, well, that is also something like, and just to give you an example of emotional bonds. I remember once we were talking about the violet ray, and a student mentioned that she wasn't happy in her job, and one day she got fired, and she was so upset, and her facilitator asked her, but I don't understand, why are you upset when you always were complaining about your job? So, see? And those ones, the mental bonds, and those are terrible. So, for example, those are examples of thoughts. I don't think my boss likes me, or my classmate. I don't think I'm good enough to get a raise. I think I deserve to be fired. Those thoughts, imagine. At home, just to give you an example, I don't think I will never find love. And the person is suffering there. Or I will never move to a better place. And they are living in a, I don't know, stink house or terrible, with no windows. Or I don't think I'm attractive. Well, if you don't think you are attractive, do you think other people will think of that? Or I don't do well, I'm a failure. So all those thoughts are bones that prevent yourself to get what you want, so to get your freedom. So all of that is the opposite of freedom, and by using the violet ray, you can set free yourself from those things by applying the violet ray. And this is just one activity that you can do when you are having a shower. Like this lady. You are having a shower, and then you can do your decree. You can apply the violet ray by decreeing, in the name of I am persons and beloved Mother Alexa, and we are going to see who is Mother Alexa in a while, these electrons are impregnated with physical, emotional, and mental freedom. So when you can do is like what she's doing actually is pointing your hands towards the water. So when the water, so what is the purpose of having a shower? To clean our body. Well, hello Pita. The purpose of having a shower is to clean our body. And by charging those electrons with this decree, you are not only cleaning your appearance, your physical body, but also your emotions and your feelings, of course, and your thoughts. So you have the shower is usually you are on your own. Usually, I don't know if you have a shower with someone else, you might be, but if you are alone, well, you can do that every day. So ideally, we have a shower every day. Don't believe me? Use it. Apply it. Okay? So one more time. In the name of I am presence and beloved Mother Alexa, these electrons are impregnated with physical, emotional, and mental freedom. Thank you, Father. Well, the seventh violet ray is the ray of forgiveness. Sometimes we call this this is the fourth pillar of metaphysics. Look how important is this violet ray. Well, forgiveness. Sounds nice. Now, applying forgiveness is another thing. Well, what you are going to forgive? Well, you are going to forgive everything. You might think, oh no, but there are things that we cannot forgive. Well, let me tell you that by the law of forgiveness, you can forget. So if you forget something, means you just forgive that situation. If you still remember that person, that situation, it means that you didn't you think you forget, but actually you didn't. So you need to forgive that person. Well, when we talk about forgiveness, the question is, who receives the benefit from that forgiveness? The person who forgives. Sometimes it happened to me. I don't know you, but I will talk about me. I say to someone because I said something and the person was upset, okay, I'm sorry. I'm using forgiveness. And the person says, no, but you are saying that, but you don't feel it. So what the person does with my forgiveness is not my problem. Talk with my hand. I just give my forgiveness. So I forgive that situation, I forgive that person, and then I just move on. I don't think anymore about that. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's done. Now, sometimes we cannot say to the person, forgive me, or I'm sorry. Well, in that case, you can also think of that person. Bring it in front of you and say, forgive me, or I forgive you. And that is magic. And one more thing is when you need to forgive yourself. Well, in that case, it's easy. You said something, you did something, and then you regret. Well, just realize first, the first act of forgiveness is to realize that there was a mistake. That is the thing. Oh, I did this and it was wrong because of this, of that, and da 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 da. That is the magic of forgiveness. And then, because what happened afterwards is karma. Karma is the law of cause and effect. What you do, life will do to you. If you forgive, then people will forgive you. But if you don't forgive, well, how do you expect that others will forgive you? So, forgiveness. By forgiving, you can heal yourself. You cannot imagine how many illness, how many conditions are the effect of not forgiving or resentment. And one of them is cancer. People say that the cause of cancer is the diet, is the environment, is this, is genetic, is blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, if you say to someone, apply forgiveness, and then that, of course, I'm not saying don't do your medical treatments and everything, your studies, investigations, and so on, so on. I'm just saying that forgiveness can be a very effective way of changing the effect of what you already caused. The seventh violet ray, you see how much we have to work with the seventh violet ray. There is plenty of things that we can work with. The seventh violet ray is the ray of compassion and mercy. So, it's nice to talk about compassion, but who is a compassionate person? Well, we can have an example here. Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And I have this is a story of her, because as you see the image, let me show you here. I will make it bigger. Look at her, that beautiful face, smiling, so nice, and you think, oh yes, she was an angel. But let me tell you that she had her character. She wasn't smiling all the time. So she went to shopping, to a supermarket, not shopping. She went to a supermarket and she went to buy a lot of foods and everything for people who were suffering. Well, and when she got when the time to pay came, she said, no, I'm not going to pay this. This is for poor people. I'm going to take it. And you imagine, and the employee said, no, excuse me, Mother Teresa, you cannot do that, because we are not allowed to give you. Yes, I will take this food and I'm not going to pay, because all this food is for poor people. The poor. Okay, let me ask my manager. So, long story short, the CEO received a call and he said, okay, let her go, and every time that Mother Teresa comes, let her go with everything that she buys. She had her character, and that is compassion. Not just the smiling face because she was doing that for others. All the food, all the things that she bought, it wasn't for her. That is compassion, mercy. Well, another aspect of the seventh violet ray. The seventh violet ray is the ray of transmutation. Indeed, very strong. Mother Teresa was a very strong woman. Yes. So, how do you feel? I'm going to take this. Too late. So, how do you feel now? Don't tell me I'm fine. No, not always we are fine. So, the first thing is we need to recognize our emotions. And the angry emotion, you can be angry or scared, sad, well, happy as well, of course, frustrated, anxious. Peter, you're happy? Well, of course, because we are studying metaphysics. We are learning here, and that is the good thing. Or you can be disappointed or calm. But as you know, our emotions go up and down most of the time. Oh, let me change, sorry. So we are here, and then we move, and then we are scared, and then we are happy, and then we are upset, and then we are calm again. And this is like a roller coaster of emotions all the time. So what happened is we can transmute that. Because what is the first answer? The first, when someone is, I'm not happy because, I don't know, John did this and that, or Peter didn't do this or that. So we always are looking for a third person by giving them the power to say, okay, I am like this because of you. And it's wrong, because you are upset, or you are anxious, or you are disappointed because of you, not others. I have a story here. And, well, I would say that Lord Gautama Buddha, he didn't use the word violet ray as we use, because this is a teaching of the new era. So he knew about the violet ray, but he didn't say the violet ray. The thing is that he was teaching. He was traveling to one city to another, and he met a lot of people during those trips. And he were giving talks. On one of those talks, someone came very, very angry, and he said, "You, Gautama, you are a liar. You are lying to all your disciples. You shouldn't talk anymore. You are the worst person in the world." And, well, that person said everything bad, everything, all negative things about Gautama. And you know what he did? He said, "Look, if someone brings you shit, what do? Do you accept it?" And the person says, "No, of course not. Nobody wants it." Well, this is what I do. If someone comes to me with sheep, I don't accept it. Long story short, that person transformed and he became a Gautama's disciple. Oh, not disciple, they have another, they're not disciple, they have another, well, like a student. I don't remember now. From his ashram. So you can learn from Gautama. Everyone, we can do that. If someone tells you something, don't give them power. At the end of the day, they are words. So you can transmute that. When you go to your, when you're at home, first of all, you can transmute that by using the violet ray. When you go to work, and you can invoke the violet ray to act in that place, and you will see magic things happen. You can see that people who were not happy, let's say, change their behavior, change their attitude, or the other way is that they go away. They change jobs, they do other things. Who knows? So from now on, you can use the violet ray to transmute a situation. You have the power. And, well, by saying this decree. First of all, the representation. So you visualize yourself with this violet fire or violet flame from your feet surrounding all your body. And once you are concentrated, well, you say that the decree is like this. I am the violet flame, transmuting all the mistakes made by me and all humanity. This is how we use the violet ray, by decrees. The seventh violet ray is the ray of invocation, rhythm. Well, what we did already was an invocation. Rhythm means that we must do this. And I will say must, but must is in a good way, because okay, it sounds like okay, this is we are talking about freedom, we are talking about this and that, and then we say you must. Well, doesn't. Okay, let me explain again. We usually must eat 3 times a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. Well, let's take this example as when we eat, to use the violet flame. Take your time. If you say, okay, but I'm working, okay, you just can go to the toilet. I don't know. You can find the way to just say. You can say, you can think, you can do it many. You can shout if you like. You can shout it, or you can whisper. You can do as you wish. That is, there is no rule for that. It's how you feel to do. Sometimes, in my experience, sometimes I shout. I was living in an apartment at that time, and I was shouting like, I am the violet flame. Sometimes I just think I am, for example, well, I never did that in a public place, by the way, that way, but definitely I did mentally. I am the violet flame, especially when I am in a meeting with other people and they are talking about, Oh yes, because my mom, the doctor cut her head, something like that. Was it? No, I don't want to hear that. So I am the violet flame, and I use the decree mentally. Well, we can do it again, but so you visualize yourself with the violet flame surrounding from your feet, and we say, I am the violet flame transmuting all the mistakes made by me and all humanity. Thank you, Father. When you ask for something, you always ask for everyone else. Okay, move on. Yep. Well, the seventh violet ray is the ray of magic. And, well, with all of these degrees, you will see magic. Magic is just because it's easy. In metaphysics, everything is easy. Yes, you need to repeat the invocation 3 times, but that is what we usually. I make the bed every day. I have a shower every day. What is it? I brush my teeth twice a day. So we do things rhythmically. Well, we can use this decree also rhythmically. And that is magic. The seventh violet ray started to be felt on Earth since the discovery of the ultraviolet rays. And you might know this woman. She working with her husband Marie Curie, discovered polonium and radium. So they both won the Nobel Prize for Physics for discovering radioactivity. She won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry for isolating pure radium. Following work on X-rays, she studied radioactive substance and their medical applications. So, thanks to Marie Curie, we have X-rays, we know about radium, we know about radioactivity. And that is the activity of the violet ray, ultraviolet rays. The seventh violet ray knowledge and use or application started to be revealed in 1919, 100 and around 100 years ago by Master the Tibetan or Dual Ku. So yeah, we say that the violet ray is new, but you see that its application is already there. So, for example, from the beginning, the violet ray existed since always, so since the creation of the universe. We saw that in the first PowerPoint. The violet ray is in the seventh sphere of the surrounding the great central spiritual sun. In 1919, only for humanity, like incarnated, that knowledge, that application was revealed. What happened before 1919? The violet ray existed. Yes, of course. But people on Earth, they ignored it. They didn't know about the violet ray. Once people who were ready for their ascension, then is when they were able to use the violet ray. Not before. So look at that. 100 years ago, the knowledge of this violet ray was revealed. by the Tibetan, but the Tibetan worked with someone else, and she is Alice Bailey. So all the books that you read by Alice Bailey, the I don't know, the real author, let's say, was the Tibetan, but she signed them as with her because they were working together. He told her everything to write. And do you want to know about how was it? The story is very, very funny. So she was from the high society. She was a British woman, and when she was young, she was I think a teenager. She met her master Kuthumi, and time passed. Time doesn't stop, and then someday she heard someone in her head, and she says, "No, go away! I don't accept you. Go away." And the Tibetan was the Tibetan. The Tibetan is also the student of so Kuthumi's student, and the master Kuthumi had to intervene and say, "Look, Alice, the Tibetan is trying to contact you to work with you." And when he said that, then she accepted working with him. And you know how master the Tibetan convinced her to do so? He said, "Okay, look, whatever I'm going to tell you, you write it down, and then you show it with your friends and your acquaintance, and see how they say." And yeah, they accepted. They love it. So then they started working, and this is how we have all the information. So the master, the Tibetan, is one of the masters who knows the most about the race. Okay, so the seventh violet ray knowledge was revealed in 1919. On the 16th of August 1930, in Mount Shasta, California, USA, Master Sonderman gave humanity the practical use of the violet ray. So first was the knowledge. So yeah, this is the violet ray. Now Master Sonderman gave the use. So okay, how we are going to do like we are learning today. I'm just reading what Pita says. She has a question. So she said, using the violet ray is good. But what if you get overwhelmed transmuting? When it's just too much already and you are exhausted and tired, what you should do? Okay, Pita. Sorry, I wasn't. Let me change the camera. Pita, simple. In metaphysics, everything is simple and easy. But you will never get exhausted. Like you cannot say, "Oh, today I'm exhausted. I'm not going to have a shower." No, you have to have a shower for the good sake of everyone around you, for yourself as well, to smell nicely. So the same way, "Oh, today I'm so tired, I'm not going to dress up." No, I'm going to be naked. No, you can't, because you go out and on the street and people and police officer comes and say, "No, go to the police station." You cannot walk naked on the street. So when we apply the violet ray, is you will not never be overwhelmed. You are not going. It's not like eating. It's not like, oh, I ate too much, I feel so bad. No. 3 times a day, using minimum 3 times a day is not, I would say, well, this is what Saint Germain says, and the Ruben Cedeno says, 3 times a day. I would say you can use more than once. Sometimes I use more than once when you're in different environments or different situations. So, yes, no, you cannot say you're tired for that. And it's just a thought, nothing else. So, we are not the doer. When we do an invocation, when we invoke the violet ray, we are not the doer. By invoking the violet ray, is the violet ray itself who transmutes the situation. And this is what I heard Ruben Cedeno says from Connie Mendes. And Connie Mendes said, when I don't even move my finger to get the things done. Because by the invocation, you don't even move a muscle. So, in 1930, on the 16th of August, Master Saint Germain gave humanity the practical use of the violet ray. So, this is, the violet ray is there. It's just waiting for you to invoke it. Otherwise, it cannot act. Remember that you have free will, and if you don't do the invocation, the violet ray exists, yes, but it cannot act unless you invoke it. By the decrees, yes. Things belonging to the violet ray. Let's see. The age of Aquarius. Saturday, Grapes, the opera Nabucco by Verdi. The movies The Count of Monte Cristo, Harry Potter. And, well, this is the representation of Aquarius. And you see the Pisces everything was water. Means, water means emotions. Now, there is water, yes, but control. So your emotions you won't be overwhelmed by using the violet ray. You just control the situation. You control, by invocation, transmute something, the situation. Well, on Saturday is the day when the violet ray is active, and we can wear something violet. A tie for gentlemen, a dress, or even a cuff, a detail. You don't have to be all violet, like the lady who also has I think sunglasses are violet, but no, it's okay. Only one thing is fine. Grapes and the 2 movies. Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce and Richard Harris, The Count of Monte Cristo, and Harry Potter is. Remember Harry Potter? I have so many stories, so many. I love that. Both of them. Well, Harry Potter, I think there are 7 or 8 movies. I saw them all. And one part that they were at school and they had to practice with their fears. Do you remember? Have you seen that movie? Or do you remember that? All the students were in a queue, and one by one, there was like a wardrobe, I think it was a wardrobe, and when the wardrobe was open, they could see their fear, what they fear the most, and they just with magic they just transmute and they make the situation laugh. This is what we can. This is also this is a movie, of course, but this is what we can use in real life. Make jokes about things that we are terrified, for example. Okay. Light beams of the violet ray, and there are some light beams, because there are many more. But if I was going to talk about all of them, this activity will never end. So there is Mother Alexa, Master Saint Germain, Mother Kuan Yin, Elohim Arcturus and Diane, Archangels Zadkiel and Amethyst, and Johann Mother Mercedes. Okay, so Mother Alexa. She's known as Goddess of Freedom, primordial cosmic being, because the first thing that we need is freedom for everything. Saint Germain's spiritual mother. She's the representation of the Divine Mother for the age of Aquarius. Her physical representation is the Statue of Liberty in the US, in New York. As you see, the image is very similar. Her musical keynote is in the French anthem, La Marseillaise. Sorry, my French. And she has that torch, of violet fire, and in her left hand, there is the book of I Am. Master Saint Germain is, for the age of Aquarius, the avatar. And the same, so her counterpart was Master Jesus as the avatar of the age of Pisces. Well, Master Jesus' mother was Mother Mary, and Saint Germain's mother is Mother Alexa. Now, do you remember the decree that I apply that decree every day when you have a shower? You invoke your I Am presence and Mother Alexa. Well, here she is. Elohim Arcturus and Diane. So the Elohim came to earth to bring the violet ray and all the virtues in the mental plane, all the forms. Archangel Zadkiel, he is the Lord of Invocation. Invocation is an important activity of the seventh violet ray, which means demand any help by decree or prayer. We don't pray in metaphysics, we don't pray, but we have the scientific prayer. And when we say demand, I went to the dictionary and I looked for the word, and I said, okay, I'm going to share the word with everybody. it's very important that we get that, the meaning, the real meaning behind the words. So demand, when we are demanding, means that we are asking for something forcefully. In that case, it's not necessarily forcefully. But yes, in a way that shows that you do not expect to be refused. So when we do the decree, this is a demand. This is that you know 100% without doubt about it that you will get what you are asking for. You are demanding that the violet ray acts in this situation right now. 100% sure. This is the invocation. And this is what we do. Now, when we say invocation, in metaphysics we use a lot the decrees, for example. Every time that we are invoking, we are applying the violet ray. Regardless the decree that we are saying. We can say, for example, how can I say? Okay, so when I park my car and I'm going to work, and I know that the car will be there for at least 8, 9, 10 hours, so I invoke I am, and I invoke the Archangel Michael to protect this car and all the cars in this parking. So in that case, I'm invoking Archangel Michael, who works in the blue ray, but because it's an invocation, this is the activity of the violet ray. Does it make sense? In mental plane, everything is divided. Yeah, the hand is here, the finger is here, the nail is here, the hair is here. Different is divided, but there's one body. With the rays, it's exactly the same. There are 7 rays, but they all act as one. So when we do an invocation, we are using the violet ray, regardless the decree what you're saying, or the decree. Amethyst is the solidified violet ray. Every time that you are wearing violet ray, I'm saying wearing because I will show you now, wearing violet ray, for example, wearing violet ray, ding, ding, even here in my ring as well, with the cross of Maltese cross, and I'm going to talk about later on about the Maltese cross. Well, amethyst is the solidified violet ray. And do you want to know more? I worship an amethyst. I wash it first, and I put it into a jar with water. I left it for 24 hours, and then I drink that water. And I never get empty the jar. I just refill every time. It's getting a little, and I just amethyst, and inside amethyst, because I know that amethyst is the solidified violet ray.
It's 8 o'clock.
Thank you, computer. It's 8 o'clock. So there are 2 main places where the amethyst. One is Uruguay, which are huge mines of amethyst, and Argentina as well. And they are all over the world, but there are the two more important places. Okay, Master Saint Germain. He is the emperor of the violet ray. Yeah, he himself is the violet ray. He's the avatar of the age of Aquarius. We already said that. He's king of the violet oh, sorry, he is king of the golden age. He is our patron of the metaphysics groups, and his musical keynote is within the Adagio Concierto de Aranjuez by Joaquín Rodrigo, the Spanish Joaquín Rodrigo. Well, and Master Saint Germain is, well, we talk a little bit of him. Remember when I mentioned the Maltese cross? Well, the Maltese cross is his electronic pattern. So if you are wearing a Maltese cross, you are connected with Master Saint Germain. And Peter says that, oh my God, Peter, for her is 5 a.m. Oh, here, yes, woo. Wow. On the other side, yes. Okay, and Mother Mercedes. So she is the Chohan regent of the 7th Violet Ray. Why? Because the current Chohan is Master Saint Germain. But because you already saw how many positions he has to work on, he's the avatar, he's the, well, he's the king of the golden age, which is, well, someone else had to work in the chart of as in the position of Chohan of the Violet Ray. For that reason, Mother Mercedes in 1983 she got the position. So she is the Chohan regent, but the Chohan itself is Saint Germain. Saint Germain in French. So Mother Mercedes' ministry is to set free those who have lost their physical, emotional, and mental freedom. And her musical keynote is within Va Pensiero in the opera Nabucco by Verdi. And her day, the Mother Mercedes Day, is the 24th of September. And Mother Kuan Yin. She is the Divine Mother of the 7th Violet Ray and Mercy. She is Amida Buddha and Avalokiteshvara's manifestation. She is well known in China, in Peking. Her musical keynote is in a monastery garden by Kettleby. Her musical keynote is in a monastery garden by Kettleby. So when I'm saying that people know Mother Kuan Yin more in Asia area, she is well known in China. And saying Mother Kuan Yin and saying Avalokiteshvara is exactly the same. If you know about Amida Buddha, Avalokiteshvara, and so on. Well, and that's all. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining us. Now, news, because this is the end of the course 7th Ray. And, well, thank you for being here, and see you then. Bye for now.